I want to extend my appreciation for you joining with me here today. This is really a trial. This is really an experience that I've been gravitating to for a minute now. To be honest with you, I don't know what it is about that red light, that recording light, when it goes on, that it makes a person, the anxiety starts to kick in. And, your palms start sweaty. But I'm here and it's started this journey. And I appreciate you showing up and connecting. This is going to be crazy. Honestly, I started the YouTube journey several years ago. Consistency is pretty much what's held me back. It can be overwhelming, but at the same time, a bit disappointing at the same time. So it's really about showing up. Now, I'll apologize because I got late due to technical difficulties, because you can check the box on everything but the moment that, it's crazy that when the moment arrives, that's when certain things start to fall apart. Having these little hiccups that pop up. But as long as you can be a problem solver and move in the right moment, it should fall into place. Getting that out of the way, I am Bracy, and this is the Everyday Frequency. The Everyday Frequency here on this channel, I feel like everybody goes through some type of frequency. Every day is a new test. The idea is to be better than yourself yesterday, right? And here, I decided to make it a platform where, yes, we do talk audio as it relates to every day, because you hear things, you receive things, and a lot of that is through audio, whether it's from gaming, television, music, all of that ties in to what you hear and what you experience. I feel like we should discuss here, and we could have a back and forth. It's not just a one way, but I also would like to hear from you as well. I am streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. This is pretty awesome, man. I hope I can be heard over there. My aspirations is audio and sound design, working also in the sync space as well. Producing music for short film, TV, music sound bed to help illustrate what's being seen. That is a big thing for me, is that to have my music placed in a movie, that will be incredible. One of the things I often says is that it would be incredible to have her at a moment that she's actually in a scene and they're playing something that I actually produced and it got picked up to be in that scene. That'd be awesome. To me, that would be better than any Grammy or Oscar or anything. The kids all play video games. But I'm just going to say Mortal Kombat X, right? That will be the game that I will be playing here on this channel. Now, not saying that it won't be any other games, but that's Scorpion. That's my guy. That's who I play with. It won't be today. My capture card did not come in, and I thought I was going to be able to have it hooked up and everything, but it can't be today. Sorry, it won't. It can't be today. So just stay tuned, stay locked in. Today is introduction from me, you, and vice versa. A lot of the aspirations that I also have is to have a Discord, right? I have a Discord. I don't have a Discord server. And that's one of the things that I will immediately begin as well. So we'll have a community where, you can come by and we can just really discuss what movies you watch, what music you actually like, what shows you've been to. We're in basketball now, and baseball is fastly approaching. You know it. You see it. Seattle. Right. I have made some clips during my testing phase for this channel, right? And I'm not sure how they was seen or whatever, but I had to take them down. My intent was to do a live stream for the Super Bowl, because my guys, the Seattle Seahawks, go Hawks, if you know, the 12, I'm one of the 12s, all right? When they made it to the championships, and then they went on to the Super Bowl, at the NFC Championship, when they played the LA Rams, I said, I'm going to live stream the whole Super Bowl, but obviously I can't put the game on here. It would be my reaction. There was a hiccup there as well. NFC Championship game, there were certain clips that did get uploaded. Now, I'm not sure how they look. I'm not even sure how this looks right now. I see myself, but what I'm saying is that I don't know if it was a good approach for my first, you know what I'm saying, my first representation or my first intro into this space. So I took it down, but I was having a good time. We made it. I have been a fan of the Seahawks since 2002. Since 2000, so I've seen all the ups and downs. No, I did not. I'm not a bandwagon. I didn't jump on the team when the LOB, arrived and they took off. No, 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 no. I was there with the Matt Hasselbacks, the Sean Alexanders, Jordan Babineau. I remember D-Jack, you know what I'm saying, Darrell Jackson. 2 championships. That's awesome. Initially, I was a basketball fan. I slowly moved away from basketball because of the simple fact when Iverson left the Sixers. No, correction. Sacramento was my second team, but Iverson on the Sixers was my first team. And when they lost in that LA finals, then the next year, that was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. No, 2002. Sacramento, the Kings, was my second team. And they made it to the finals, and they played LA. When they lost that game, and that's a whole nother story. That's one thing you're going to know about. I got stories for days, okay? You would think that I should have called this Everyday Stories. You may look at it as like, well, call it Everyday Stories because you talk hell a lot, dog. Like, yeah, I've often been told I should write a book. But the point is, Sacramento was playing LA, and I was about to go to basic training ship off the basic training the very next day. But that night that they were playing, it would have decided whether, to continue. I don't know if they went to 7. I can't remember if it was a 7-game series. The point is they lost. When they lost, I shipped out the very next day. And that's when I decided I'm done with basketball for a minute. As I approached into my first duty station, friends that I've had, and they were talking football. It was football season at that time. So they were talking about their teams and, their team, they drafted this person from Michigan or from Louisville or Ohio State. I had no clue who these people were. None. I'm thinking about like old players. Emmett Smith, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, those guys. That's what I'm thinking because I've been out of it for a minute. So I decided the only clear option was choose where you came from. Now I'm from North Carolina, but I didn't want it the Panthers. I just chose the Seahawks because at that time when I entered the military, I entered through Seattle. Like I was living in Tacoma, Washington. And so that's how I became a Seattle Seahawks fan. I know that was a lot. I'm sorry. That's how I get down. I got a lot to talk about. Hopefully, I can put up the frequency of streaming. You see what I did there? Pick up the frequency. Okay. We could chat. Speaking of the chat, I don't see a motherfucking soul up in the chat. What? Ain't nobody up in here. I was taking notes as like, well, what I'm going to discuss? Am I going to sit here and go over editing techniques today? No. This is about me saying hello and you responded. That'd be great if there was someone here to respond. But ain't nobody here to respond. This is my introduction. I'm through. Tap in. Leave a comment. Subscribe. It will get better, right? How did I get into audio? I'm glad you asked. You want me to tell you? You want to know? You want to know, don't you? I ain't gonna tell you. No, I was joking. How I got into audio is like that. When I was a little boy, when I was younger, I was always intrigued by music. I remember in the 3rd grade when I first heard Candy Girl. I don't care. Now, there was other songs that I've heard before. I can go as far as back to Anita Ward, Ring My Bell. I know. We were babies, my brothers and I. We was dancing around, listening to Ring My Bell. Ring my bell, my bell. Ring-a-ling-a. That that was fun. Those were some fun times. Anyway, from that, it was something, I can't remember the name of the song. I can't remember who produced the song. I can't remember who was the artist. It was like, if you wanna ride the white horse. Dun, 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 dun. It's almost like kind of was like a house beat or something. Then it was Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. Not to mention the Double Dutch Bus. So I'm going way back. I know I look mad young, right? Yeah, yeah. Mama Jeans. I got Mama Jeans. But back to New Edition. I was in the third grade. I remember it first came out. And I begged my grandmother for that record. We had like this little record. It was a console in in our, I would say, living room. But this was the room at your grandmother's house that had all the plastic everywhere. But you couldn't go in there. You could only go in there when she would have dignitaries over and certain guests, like what the pastor come through, or important people would come through. And you can come in there then, but she wants to show you off. But other than that, and it was all pink and with little statues and everybody's pictures and stuff like that. I remember this setup. It was a compact all-in-one stereo system. It had one woofer. It has a 8-track player, a record player, and it was a radio set. It looked like a piece of furniture because you could lift the top of it. If you close it, it just would look kind of like a credenza or a... But anyway, it was a stereo system. Played that record forever. Candy girl. Oh, man, that was... Go to school, that's all in my ear. Going through the cafeteria, a friend of mine, what's his name? Thad? Tony. We were like right in sync with that song. Like that was it. That's how it really propelled me to be more a lover of music, if you will. Stopping the tape, playing it, rewind it, did all of that. And not just R&B. Whether it was pop music, rock music. My brother and I, we grew up in the same house, but that was crazy. Why wouldn't my brother and I grow up in the same house, right? But my older brother, he was more into rock and roll. You know, I want to say he dabbled in punk and, more like that hard metal stuff now. But because he's my older brother, you kind of follow him around. So I was listening to a lot of that as well. But I still had a love for gospel, soul, and R&B, and then hip hop also. Come on, there was a lot of different music that I was exposed to. Whether it's going to church with my grandmother, then in the choir stand, recording the sermon as well as the music, obviously, and then coming home, listening to what's on television, the different music that was coming out. My baby brother was, he was more advantageous than I was. He liked being out. He was more sociable. He goes to the clubs, comes back, bring a new mixtape, and I'm like listening to that every now and then, like, well, who is this? Mary J. Who? Really? That's how I discovered Mary J. Blige and Method Man. Like, I didn't know. Because I'm New Edition, Keith Sweat, you know what I'm saying? James Ingram, Jerry Levert, Tony. That's it. As well as gospel music and learning that. And then also with my brother, it's like rock and roll, got the gospel, the R&B is which is my love. My brother introducing me to hip hop. So that just kept in rotation the entire time. So aside from that, then we get into movies, right? I remember the first time we went to a movie theater and it was the Oz. My mother took us to the Oz with the, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. Choreography, the music, it was just, I remember it like it was yesterday. So from there, Footloose. Was it Kevin Bacon? Yeah. We've all tried jumping on the stairs with the stair rail and try to slide down and then broke our damn ankles. So it's from that, Star Wars, the Karate Kids, the Back to the Futures. It's not really just one thing with me, which is to tie this in that I most would say, well, no, you need to narrow down your area to one niche. That's not me. And I know it should be to grow your channel, but and not necessarily just grow your channel or your community, but I'm sure that's what a lot of streamers, YouTubers do is they narrow it down to one thing that they discuss, one thing that they focus on. I'm like, the moment I talk about one thing or the one thing I want to focus on this, that's going to be a struggle for me. And I understand if that's at the risk of losing, so be it. Because there's one thing that I can do outstandingly well. I don't even know if you're supposed to put that together. One thing I can do exceptionally well is be myself. And if being myself is discussing of what it is that makes me unique, then that's what I'll have to hang my hat on. That's just my focus. I don't want to be all things to everybody, but I do want to be 100% me. Can you imagine if they put Sam Darnold on the front of Madden? They shouldn't do that. What they should do is put the entire team, if possible, dark side. Put them, Kenneth Walker, Coach McDonald, right there in the middle. That would be awesome. If you do that, then that means it symbolizes everything about this championship run. Because it did take a whole total team effort. So, we were discussing movies. The Karate Kid, damn, I watched every single one of those religiously. You know how most people are watching Star Wars or Star Trek, Marvel movies? You know how they could tell you that's me when it came to the Karate Kid. The same way it was with Back to the Future. I was the same way. That's how I was. I couldn't wait for the next one to show up. I remember when and some friends decided to go to this theater out there at Lenox. Back then when they first started showing Boys in the Hood. I don't know what it was about that movie other than how gruesome and real that it was. Oh, was I 16? I saw that movie. I was like, God, oh, man. I was like, oh my God. And then the next movie that my boys and we went to go see was New Jack City. I was like, what are we doing with these movies? Remember, I started off talking about Karate Kid, Back to the Future. And then when I was introduced to Boys in the Hood, and then New Jack City, but it's gotten real. Definitely got real. Because the music, even though the music was kind of like that, but it wasn't really like that, not like it is today. You don't hear the stuff they talk about in music today. They didn't say, it wasn't until Luke. I don't know if y'all know, but yeah, 2 Live Crew, when they came with it, boy. But it's different now. It's good. Some could be a little scaled back. I think that when they played music, or when they recorded music, they probably did record 2 different versions, but only the radio version got played, which is probably why I never really heard. Like, the Big Daddy Kane, I'm not sure. Even I'm just saying back then, in that time, that era of music, of hip-hop, I don't know if they had a whole lot of. I know it wasn't on the radio because that's all I was listening to the radio. But I'm imagining if they did shows or in club appearances, they probably went all out then. I should have started off and I meant to do that. So let me do that now. Audio Technica 2035 into my Scarlett 18920 interface. That is going into M2 Mac Mini and JBL 5. But I'm listening to on the Aerodynamics DT 770, I think what they are. They're the 700 Pro. I just want to do a rundown of what my chain is. The OBS, is there some slight compression? Other than that, no EQing, no anything. What music are y'all listening to right now? Everybody keep talking about this Jill Scott. I haven't heard it yet. A$AP Rocky put out a new album. And I was trying to get a feel for it, but, Because me personally, I listen to a lot of hip hop when I work out, right? Which actually, when I wrap this up, come back, do my editing, and then have this uploaded, hopefully today. At least that's my plan. J. Cole, started listening to that. I'm still making my way through that album. Carolina native. Yep. I actually grew up not too far from Fayetteville. Elizabethtown, Layton County. Y'all know. You don't. You ain't missing that. You know what I mean? No, I love my upbringing. It's like, I got country roots, but city branches. Means I had to branch out. I wasn't one of those that had to just, I'm going to run Papa's farm, you know? I'm going to take over the garage, the mechanic shop. Or I'm going to go work at the hog plant down the road. You crazy? I couldn't wait to leave. I had a decent upbringing. One of the things I actually regret, let me switch that. Because I know I mentioned I was in the military. We're going to talk about that in time. So I wish that I better prepared myself for today then. What I mean is, it wasn't until I was in school for audio, and then later, and as I got more in depth of, sound effects. If you didn't know, this is the sound design portion of this conversation. See, there's different processes. Yeah, sound design artists and field recorders, they have to go through so much protocol to get to, say, if they want to record machine gun sounds, M4, M16s. I was right there. I could have done that then. Just locking, loading, unloading, just the different mechanics and how it sounds. I should have done that then. And that's one of the biggest regrets because I was around all this equipment because I was supplied, right? I even worked in the arms room. Yes, I deployed, I had a stint in Korea, all the different styles of music, like in just the environment itself. I should have, but I didn't know. I was, you're young. But that's one of the things I wish I could have done was like better preparing myself in that aspect of, I was even on a boat, dog. Like, I was a watercraft engineer, my first MOS going into the military, in the engine room. I don't know where they, like movies, when they make these movies, like, what was that, Pacific Rim? They probably didn't even have a scene in the engine room. I didn't see the movie, but let's just say you don't necessarily have to be in certain areas. The way I view it is that you can make something out of anything, like the sound of rain. You could fry bacon, right? Record it, process it, and it'll sound just like rain. I could have got some very unique sounds captured. And we're 48 minutes in. I got 12 minutes. And we're about to wrap this up. The craziest thing is if this don't record. Now it's saying it's recording, and I see it myself on YouTube. It says, "Oh, excellent," and Twitch is looking pretty good. And I'd like to hear what you guys have. What are you guys working on? If you're not working on anything, why? If you are, what is it? What do you aspire to do? If your day went terrible, let's talk about it. If it went great, like I said, if you got wins, talk about this. Even if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't really matter. Another goal is to have collaborations. If you'd like to be a guest and you have things you want to talk about, hit me up in the comments, send me a message, let me know, and we can get that together and have you on the stream. I have no ego here. This is a relaxed environment. I'll just be talking about, like I said, my day, the ups and downs. Might even have a guest appearance of my wifey showing up, Perhaps she has to get I got to get dolled up. Don't show me on camera looking like anything, child. That's my impersonation of it. And the boys might even stop through discussing their kills or whatever it is. Is it Roblox? They don't have kills. blocks do they? I don't know. I asked my son, I was like, what are you doing? What's the objective? What's the goal here? He just shrugs me off. Like, I don't know. That's just what he does. Yeah. What's going on with YouTube, dog? You just shut me down. So this has been eventful. I think I'm starting to get used to speaking to nobody. No, I'm talking to somebody because somebody's going to hear this and hopefully it relates. Hope they'll remember their first time, right? You remember your first time? You came on here and you decided you want to put your business all out there in the street, right? All out there on the interwebs, all out there on the globe, let everybody from here to Czechoslovakia, and Australia, right? Hear all about your business. But ain't nobody there. Nobody. But you still progress, you still push through. And that's what I'm going to do, right? That's what this is for. I'm here for you. We're here for each other. I'm going to bring this to a close and hopefully edit everything down, chop it up, put it up, upload it. We're going to see what it do. I know it's a slow process. I know it's a journey because that's really what this is. It's life. We're going to go over some certain music projects and stuff that I'm working on or share with you my skills in Mortal Kombat. And that's what I'm bringing is Mortal Kombat. And if you dare to want to jump in and have this one-on-one, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Also, discuss music, discuss some movies, and also certain techniques that I'm using today that I like as it relates to processing audio. And even if it don't have anything to do with the above, you can still come on in and grab a seat, pull up, and let's talk about it. All right? So again, this is Bracy, and I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for tapping in. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you next time. This is the Everyday Frequency.